something to say.
Hello everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Charlie. You might know me better as sci-fi fantasy writer C.E. Dorset, especially if you're reading my latest book, Crucify My Love, which is available as a Kindle ebook, as paperback, and as a podcast. Just search for Mask of the Gods wherever you're listening to me, and you should be able to find it there. Hi, how you doing? So today, I wanted to celebrate Pride by talking about what Pride means. It's Free Play Friday, and that's the game that I want to play today. And please, if you are heterosexual, if you are cisgendered, if you do not feel that you are anywhere on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum, stick around. I think there's going to be stuff in here for you, too. But before we get into all that, if you haven't already, please like this episode, rate this episode in whatever app you're listening to me on. It really does help out a lot. It tells the algorithms to share me with more people. The more people who listen, the bigger the community. The bigger the community, the more chance we have for interaction. And let's be honest, that's what makes this all worth it. Thank you very much. So as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots, and as we or uprising, however you wish to think about it, I am sitting here and I keep hearing about this thing in Boston where they're going to try to do a straight pride rally, and every rally is straight pride rally. Everything, every movie theater with a rom-com is a straight pride rally. I don't understand. But I think the reason people don't understand the purpose of pride is that they don't know what pride means, because we queer folk use that word a little bit differently than the way I think people who haven't been summarily judged because of their gender expression or sexuality use it. When we say pride, what we're talking about is, some of those feelings of taking pride in who you are and being proud of who you are no matter what the world tells you to think about that. But it's a different kind of pride. It's a defiant pride. It's mainly a statement of worth. That no matter what the world says about you, you are worthy. You don't owe an apology, an explanation, or an answer to anyone's questions about who you are or why you act, dress, behave, or think the way that you do. And that's it. That's pride. Pride is a celebration of who we are. And you know what a straight pride rally looks like? A gay pride rally. Because it happens there. Allies march with us. People who don't identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum joining hands with us to take pride in who they are and to celebrate all of us in all of our diversity and all of our different ways of expressing ourselves. Because that's what it means. That's why I love the word queer. Queer means different. And we're all different. Everyone is. No matter how straight or cisgendered a person believes that they are, there's something queer about them. If you take some time and just dig a little bit, oh honey, it's there. And that's the beauty of this whole thing. When we talk about queer liberation, when we talk about gay pride, it's not just for the homosexuals, or the bisexuals, or the transgender, or the non-binary. It's for everyone. Because the main question at the heart of all identity issues, whether it's our sexual identity or our gender identity, is a deep soul searching, a deep examination of who and what we are. How do we feel inside ourselves, and how do we want to express that to the world? This is why we talk about performance and presentation. This is why we act up. This is why we act out. We are not pretending. We're trying to find those most authentic pieces of ourselves that we can share with the world and live honestly and intentionally in this world. And if you've ever questioned who you are, that in a lot of ways makes you queer. Whether or not you ended up to, identifying anywhere on any of the spectra that you are there. Everyone who asks these questions needs to celebrate whatever the answer is that they found. Because truly, too many people trudge through life, never, ever asking themselves, is this who I want to be? Is this how I want to act? Is this the kind of people I love? Is this the expression of myself that I want to put out in the world? We succumb to our ideas of duty and social obligation and peer pressure. All women dress this way, all men dress that way. Well, maybe you don't want to dress either of those ways. Maybe you feel different. Maybe you've never allowed yourself to feel different. And that's really what we're celebrating, is difference. There's no right way to be gay, no right way to be bi, no way to be poly or ace or aro, no right way to be non-binary or transfeminine or transmasculine, or any of the other things that we could add to the list. There is no right way to be asexual or agendered or aromantic. There isn't a right prescribed way. And that's really what we're celebrating, and that's really what we're defying. This idea that there is only one way to be human. And you have to follow that one rigid way to be human, or you're doing it wrong. That is a great and terrible lie. And it is a disservice that people need to get past. Even for the most cisgendered person out there, ask yourselves, do you express your emotions the way that you should? Because if you're succumbing to a certain definition of masculinity or femininity that tells you you should react a certain way, and not authentically processing and expressing yourself in the way that you want, then you are trapped in a lie, and that lie will break you down, tear you apart, and lead to an unfulfilled life. And nobody should have one of those. This is why calls for a straight pride parade are met with derision and laughter. Because what is that? Are you going to say that everyone has to dress a certain way? Will there be a dress code? Will there be a proper type of action? Are we talking simply about monogamous sexuality? What about polyamorous heterosexuality? Are they allowed? See, this is the great lie that all culture tries to put on those within it. That it knows the only way for us to live and operate in this world. And if you want general rules, they're very easy. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Live with compassion. Live with humanity. Seek justice in all your interactions. That's it. Be hopeful, be nice, be kind. These aren't hard rules, though, yes, they can be taxing sometimes. But they also don't tell you how to express yourself. Because every individual is different. And this isn't one of those "you're a precious little snowflake" arguments. It's the honest truth. No two people will ever agree on the right way to wear a pair of jeans, or a skirt, or to do their makeup, or to hold hands, or to kiss, or to hold each other. These are all things that have to be negotiated. These are all things that we learn over time with the partners that we are with. There's no guide. There's no set of rules that tells us how we need to behave, because all of those rules would be a prison and a lie. That's what pride is. This is what pride means. It's learning to find out who you are individually. Who are you when you are alone? Who are you when you are with others? How do you want to behave? Who do you want to be? It is a radically individualistic idea that comes together in the most beautiful communities that celebrate diversity and difference. And if I can take a little moment to talk to my queer sisters, brothers, and siblings out there, please stop putting rules on people. Those of us who are transgender, we don't all behave a certain way. Not everyone can afford medical transition. Not everyone can afford hormonal transition. Not everyone is in a place where it is safe to dress the way they want to every time they go out. Or even in their own house out of fear of what their neighbors might do if they see them. Every one of our circumstances is different. There is no way to do it that is right or wrong. And we have to be open to all the different possibilities and reasons why people may act or behave the way that they do. As much as I wish I had a much fuller, higher voice, this is what my voice sounds like even with practice. I work hard to raise the tone of my voice, and maybe one day it'll eventually get where I want it to be. The problem is, in my head it sounds a lot better than than it does on the microphone. When I hear myself played back, I'm like, wow, my voice is so deep. But that's a part of the learning process. That's the part of developing who we are. And that's an individual process. And while we do come together in groups to help each other, those groups have to be about helping one another. Because anytime we tear down our siblings, sisters, and brothers, we are tearing down ourselves. Whether they be straight, bisexual, gay, aromantic, asexual, whether they're male, female, nonbinary, agender, whatever they may be expressing, whatever they may be feeling within, we cannot impose our experiences on them. Just as we don't want others who have never experienced the feelings that we have to press their experiences upon us, and to expect us to live according to the norms that they have adapted for themselves. We should never force others to live by our own. That's the beauty of this community. That's the beauty of this populace, of this people. And the beauty of this time to be alive, where in so many places we are finally free to express ourselves and to live honestly. But that's not true for everyone everywhere. It's not true in various countries, and it's not true in certain parts of countries that may be more tolerant. Everyone lives under different circumstances and with different demons in their own head telling them what's right and wrong, and what's dangerous and what's safe. We are not privy to the thoughts and realities of others. And so all we can do is come together in solidarity and dance. All we can do is hold each other's hands and give those words of encouragement to help people through even the darkest times in their lives. That's all we can do. That's all that can be asked of any of us. We are a people built on the ideal of individual freedom. That I, or you, or anyone doesn't have to comply and comport to a rigid set of definitions laid down by someone else about how they should express themselves. That we are allowed to experiment and experience life as we are. We're allowed to be curious. We're allowed to try new things, things that may work, things that may not work. That's what pride means. It's about being strong and sure and secure in your own identity, knowing that you do not require the approval of others, while at the same time having the care and the compassion to reach out and help those who are broken and hurt. That's what pride is. It is a place for all of us, no matter how you identify. Because I have a secret for those of you who are straight, who may hopefully are still listening. That means you're on the spectrum. Because one of the spectra goes from heterosexual to homosexual and has all kinds of different places in between. So you're still on the spectrum. No matter how cisgendered you are, that puts you on a spectrum between being a binary male or woman, male or female, and being non-binary. You're still on the spectrum. You may not realize it. You may think that they are different from you, that we are different from you. But we're not. We're just people who have our own feelings and emotions and experiences, and are doing everything in our power to live them honestly without having to hide or feel ashamed of who we are inside. And that's not too much to ask for anyone. That's not too much to grant to anyone. And that, my friends, is what pride really means. It's not just standing up and waving a flag or singing a song or marching in a parade. It is a spirit of liberation that we carry with ourselves every day. And we do everything we can to keep it alive. Because as long as that fire burns brightly, there's hope that we can live our lives and others can as well. That is the promise of pride. Hopefully, sometime this month, if you haven't already, you will celebrate the choices that brought you to where you are in this world. And if you don't like where you are, take a lesson from pride. See what you need to change. Make it better. Resist. Stand up. Be counted. Because there's no reason we should allow ourselves to be broken or lost in this world. Community is what gives us strength, even in our darkest hours. Community is built out of trust, compassion, and acceptance. And that's all any of us ask from anyone else. So don't judge. Just live and celebrate this beautiful, wonderful, diverse world. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it meant something to you. I hope maybe if you didn't understand, you now have a better understanding of what pride means and how pride can impact your life and make it even better. If you did, and you haven't already, please like this episode or rate it in whatever app you're listening to me on. It really would help out a lot. As of now, my books are starting to pass out of Kindle Unlimited, and so I'm going to be relying more and more and more on you all to help me cover the bills and everything else. So if you've got $1 you can throw my way, down in the show notes you'll see a link for my Patreon and for the community support page. If you've got as little as $1, you can join the project and help me keep doing everything that I'm doing. It really would help out a lot. It may not seem like much to you, but every dollar does help. So thank you to everyone who does that. And thank you for even considering it. If you just paused for a second to think about it, thank you. And maybe one day you'll join the project too. If you don't have any money to give right now, or you just don't feel like it, that's fine. But if you've got a friend that you think would like this podcast and things that I do here, please consider sharing the podcast with them. That helps out a lot too. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like to hear discussed on the show, in those self-same show notes, you'll see a link to send me a voice message. Keep it clean so I can use it on the show. I really do love getting those when I get those. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. I'm CE Dorset on both. You can find links to everything that I do over at projectshadow.com. I hope you have a happy Pride Month, and until next time, don't forget, have the fun. Bye.